Hey everybody, so I just wanted to pop on at the start of this video to introduce it. This is part 2 to a video that's on Jess's channel answering frequently asked questions about university. So we've asked like half the questions on my channel, half the questions on Jess's, so definitely go and check out her video as well. Her channel will be linked down below, and I hope you enjoy the video. So the next question is, what is contact time like? So I had 3 lectures a week, I think, and they were either an hour or 2 hours. And then also I had a seminar for each of those, which were normally 2 hours. So it wasn't loads, but I feel like it was enough, really.
Yeah, I was the same. So I had 3 modules for each seminar. So that's 1 lecture and 1 seminar. And again, sort of like 2 hours for the lecture, 2 hours for the seminar sort of thing. So I think it all added up to roughly 15 hours, but that's spread across 5 days. So it wasn't too bad. I was never in for a full day. I think I just had like either the morning or the afternoon.
Yes. Okay, so the next one is, will I get support for dyslexia? So I don't really know much about this, but what I do know is in Welcome Week, this thing is really important that you go to if your uni do it. We had to go and do like a little test thing on the computer, and it told you like if you had any sort of needs that would need to be supported or that they offered support for. So for me, it said that I had like maths problems, and I was like, okay. And I didn't like follow it up because my course doesn't really use maths, but obviously if I ever do need it, I can say like, this is on my thing, so can I have it?
So for me, I did that thing. So yeah, I did the quick scan and it came up saying dyslexia and dyspraxia, and if I'm honest, I didn't really know what dyspraxia was, but I went up and said, because it had been like raised a few times by like dance teachers and drama teachers to say that they think I have dyslexia, but nothing had ever been done. And so I went and did that thing. Like I think I just gave like my uni email and my name, and that was it. And then they contacted me afterwards just to say, oh, this has been flagged up, do you want to come for an assessment? So they booked in around my uni like timetable. It's all linked to the uni, so it all goes around your uni timetable and like your work schedule and stuff. And so I went, I think it was an hour, and I just sat and did like they gave me like different tasks and stuff, and I just completed them to the best I could, and it flagged up dyslexia and dyspraxia. And then since then, I did have like trouble at one point just with sort of I wasn't getting the support because it hadn't been put in place yet because the funding wasn't there. But then also some of my lecturers sort of, they're meant to give you extensions because sort of you need to be put at the same level as everyone else. And for that you need an extension or 2. So some of my lecturers were like refusing to give extensions, even because they were saying like, oh, you should have support in place, even though I didn't. And then so pretty much in terms of support, I've been given like, she's sort of just like a guidance person, so she just used to call me once a week and would just go, I'd like let her know what assessments I had coming up, how much I've done, what my ideas were, and she would just sort of like help like talk me through it a little bit and give me some ideas and stuff like that. And I went to see this like person who just sort of like does like the like loans, I guess, so she sort of set me up with a few programs which can help. But so in terms of dyslexia and dyspraxia, that's the sort of help I've had. I don't know if it's going to be different for other people, and different unis obviously if they don't have the quick scan.
I reckon most probably will, or something similar.
It was a good thing to do at the start of the year.
Also like we have the Writing and Learning Centre, so anyone can go to that. So even if you're just not quite sure, I never actually went, but like I know it's there if I do need to.
I think that's one thing I'm going to start doing next year, is start going to there and getting some help.
And I'm sure I'll have stuff like that as well. So the next question is about room checks. So I remember this so clearly. It was the day of the general election and we were supposed to have this room check, and none of us were like very happy about it. And I was sat in the kitchen. I'm not sure if you were there or not, but I didn't want to be in my room when they came, and my room was like downstairs. So I was like, my room's going to be the first one they go to, and like, what am I meant to do if they come into my room? I'm just like watching TV or something. So I just stayed in the kitchen with some people, and we were waiting for the announcement about the general election, I think. And we were waiting in there for probably about 3 hours, and they never turned up because they had some issue at one of the other flats, so they just never came. And then we were like ringing them, and it was such a nightmare.
I think I was downstairs that time. We were like, are they coming? Like, what's happening? And then when did they end up coming? I think it was like a few weeks later.
Well, that was like right before we went home for Christmas, so I think they came after Christmas.
Yeah, maybe. I remember when they did come, I was like, okay, I'm gonna like go and sit downstairs. And so I sat downstairs for literally ages, probably like 2-3 hours. The second I went up to my room to grab a charger, they walked in and I was like, hi, like, how are you? And I remember she was like, oh, I really like your top. And I was like, thank you so much. And they didn't really like, it's not like a search. Like, I don't know why. I thought it was going to be like a full-on search. They'd look through, like, look everywhere. But they didn't.
About it for no reason.
We were, to be fair, it's the sort of thing that's when like all the stories start coming up, like all like the rumours, like oh, I've heard one person had like all their stuff confiscated or something like crazy like that. Bless you. But yeah, I remember they honestly just came in, glanced around. They're only checking for plug-in fairy lights. So I had fairy lights by my thing. They checked just to see it was like battery powered, and just if you have like candles and stuff.
Yeah, and then didn't check like the hallways and the kitchen as well.
Yeah, I think only like 2 things got flagged in our flat, but it's not like they don't get removed or anything. They're just like, oh, can you sort this out? And to be fair, it wasn't our floor, so it was fine.
Okay.
But yeah.
So the next question is, how did your flat get on so well? I think it's just the fact that we put in effort and like tried hard, and obviously we were lucky with the people we were with that everyone wanted to get on. But yeah, it was just like trying to get to know everyone and being as nice as possible, I think.
Yeah, I feel like we honestly said it so many times that we're so lucky. But even like I was down when I first moved down to Bath, you would have seen I've got a vlog ready to go up. But like I moved in with one of the people from our flat, but we all moved in deliberately really nearby each other. So literally we moved down on Friday and 2 of the boys moved down the Saturday. So we literally went and met up with them. So it's the sort of thing, it wasn't just like living in the flat. Like we actually made friends with them, with everyone. So yeah, I feel like it was just being nice, like being like tolerant, but also just like making an effort goes such a long way.
Like just if someone comes in, because I feel like everyone would sort of come into the kitchen after they get back from a lecture or whatever to get a drink and just be like, oh, did you have a lecture? How was your lecture? Like,
yeah.
And then it's just like a nice environment to be in.
Yeah, it's honestly the thing. I'm sure so many people are like, oh well, like it's obviously had a lecture, like they just come in with all their bags and stuff. But it's like the smallest conversation makes such a big difference. And even if it's just like hi, something like that, after a while it'll be like, hi, how are you? Hi, how was your day? And it's the tiniest thing, but it all like adds up. And then even there were some people who maybe weren't going out, and we only went out once a week, but even that day we'd be like, oh, do you want to like, come and sit with me while I do my makeup downstairs? Or like, oh, do you want to just come and like chill with us while we're doing pre's, that you don't have to drink or anything? But it's just being nice, making sure everyone feels welcome, making sure everyone feels like comfortable, sort of thing, I guess. Just kind of
like asking people how their day was and stuff. I think that's really important, because if you're at home, your parents and like your family would always ask like how your day's been, and they still might do that in text, but it's nice to have someone actually around you that asks, because like it's your house. So
yeah, exactly, just try and make everyone feel at home, and also accept just if someone's a bit more quiet, then like that's fine. Like if they're more quiet, they're just more quiet, that's who they are. So don't think because they're being quiet they're horrible, or they don't like you or anything like that. It just means they're not as like loud or bubbly, or maybe they haven't just settled in yet fully. Like everyone takes different time to settle in. Like some people settled in like at the start of Freshers Week. Other people, it probably took them until like Christmas to like come and chat and all that.
Yeah, and then we spoke about this before, but we had a Christmas dinner that everyone in that came to, and I feel like it was nice just to sort of check in with everyone and like talk about how the semester has been.
And don't like, it sounds bad to kind of like don't assume anything, but like with the flat Christmas dinner, just because someone like doesn't necessarily talk or is a bit more quiet, don't be like, oh, they're not going to want to come, or like, they're not going to want to join in. Like, just ask them anyway. I feel like it's bad because I'm like, I don't really know if that's like if it's that simple for everyone, but I feel like even if you do that sort of stuff, no one can say it was you or you weren't nice. But also as well, even in your flat, you don't have to get on with every single person, but you might make one really, really good friend.
It's natural that people are going to start like forming groups, and like people are going to be close. Like, obviously in our flat there's like certain groups that are living together next year. And it doesn't mean that we're not friends with the other people. It just means sort of how it's formed into groups, and we'll still meet up and stuff. It's just like people are closer to
yeah, definitely.
So the next one is more of a question for Jess, I think, and that is, what is joint honours and what subject options are there? Is it common?
So I do joint media communications and drama. So in terms of what like subject options there are, you can honestly do anything. Any two subjects the uni have, you can combine. So I remember, I think I was even looking, it was after I sort of had the situation of my doctor saying like, okay, you're gonna have to, like, you can't do full-time acting, which was like 9 to 5 every single day practical. She said it's not like realistic with everything that was going on. So I looked at I don't think acting you could do, it was just like a set course, you couldn't like combine it just because it's so intense. But then I sort of found, I knew I liked media because I did communication culture at A level and I loved it. I honestly found it so interesting. And so I wanted to do something similar. And then I remember just looking on their website and they had a list of all the joint honours, and I looked at media communications and saw you could combine it with drama. So that's how I picked mine, but you can honestly combine any two. I would say I would definitely recommend it if A, you're not sure what you want to do, and B, if you, like, for me, I feel like if I did the same thing all week, I would get really, really bored. So it's good to mix it up a little bit. And also I would kind of recommend, if you're going to do joint honours, find two which are similar.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
So like if you did like psychology and French or something, like something, two completely different things, or like dance and maths or something like that, they're just like, I feel like your brain, because you're it's not like you spend half the week on one and half the week on the other, like the first half of the week on one subject, the second half on the next. It can literally go from a lecture for one, a seminar for another, a lecture for the other one, and like it keeps swapping. So pick ones which help each other. And then even down to like when you go to an essay, you might use the same books, or a theory you might have studied in one can help you with the other, sort of thing. So yeah, I would say definitely do that. How common it is, I guess kind of depends on the course. So like for me, I do drama and nearly everyone is joint, for the simple reason everyone sort of likes drama, but in reality with jobs, it's not going to get you a good job, and it's not going to give you a lot of options for jobs. So yeah, some of the ones that people have is like, just in my class, that's maybe like 10 people, and there's a lot of drama in psychology, drama in English, drama and history, and yeah, just things like that. So yeah, I feel like they're a really good option if you feel like that's right for you. Look at your university or call them. Actually, one thing I realized is that universities are so helpful if you call them. Like, it's really daunting. I hate phoning people. Like, if someone phones me, I just don't answer the phone because I'm like, I don't want to answer that, I don't know who it is. Literally, but yeah, just call them, say what the situation is, and yeah, they can help you because they have a lot more knowledge than is on the website, and they can gauge from you which options would work best for you.
I think with my course, Like I already said, I did consider doing criminology with sociology, but it was very common for people to do like criminology with sociology, criminology with psychology. And I feel like there was like politics as well that people would sometimes fit. So it's always like, it's mostly things that make sense together.
Yeah.
And another thing that is partially the reason why I didn't end up doing it is because when I was like looking at the module options for criminology, you can choose sociology options. So obviously it won't say it in your degree title, which is the only kind of annoying thing. I've still learned, like I'm still doing sociology, and it's more of the fun sociology modules rather than the like boring compulsory ones.
Yeah, it's almost like the best bits.
Yeah, and I can obviously say like if I was applying for a job that was a bit more sociology based, I could be like, I did these modules.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean it depends what you want to do. But.
Yeah, I will say as well, in terms of joining your honours, you have got options in it. So you can do combined, which is like 50-50, or you can major minor. So like for me last year I was completely 50-50. So like we have 2 compulsory, like the 3 modules you have in each thing, there's 2 compulsory and 1 optional. I'm pretty sure. It feels like 3 years ago, I'm not gonna lie. But so for the optional, for one I picked media, and for the next I picked drama. But yeah, but again, if you don't pick joint honours, but then you kind of get bored of your course or something, it's not the end of the world. Or at least at our uni, we have open options, or like open modules. So like I could do like accountancy, but then you could do like a food and nutrition module. But again, I would say, yeah, so that's a really good option. So you still come out with, like, if I was to do accountancy, I still come out with an accountancy degree, but just part of my thing was from something different maybe.
Yeah, so the open module I did was sustainability in life and work. When I was like choosing what degree I wanted in like year 12 or whatever it was, I was interested in that, but I didn't know that like I was that interested in it. So it's good to know that you can, I don't know if other unis do it, but I like it that you can apply for your degree a bit if you want. And it also just gives a bit of variation.
Yeah. And it kind of gives you different, like, I think it kind of goes hand in hand with whatever other modules you're doing, because it can give you information which can help out, or like give you a different perspective and stuff like that. But yeah, so you kind of have got the option to add in joint honours through like open modules and stuff.
Is there a pressure to drink or do drugs? I don't think so. There wasn't for us anyway.
No, I feel like in a way it depends on your flat maybe, but I don't think so. Especially not doing drugs, it's really not a big thing. Like, yeah. Like I would, it happens. Some people will do drugs, but it's like, for me, I would never do them, and there was no pressure. No one would even ask you if they didn't think you were that, like, you would do it, sort of thing. Drink, I don't think it's not.
It's not like pressure.
Yeah, there's no pressure. It's encouraged. Like if people are drinking, they'll be like, "Oh, come on, have one." Like, "Oh, like have a sip" or something like that. But it's not like, "Oh my god, why aren't you drinking? Like, what the hell? Like that's so bad." Or like try and like pressure you into it.
Have fun. But if you, or at least for us, they're not gonna like push you.
Yeah, some people at uni don't drink at all. Yeah, it's like, I feel like uni's, or at least the like assumption of uni is very different. It's very like you feel pressured into doing a lot of things. In reality, uni is very chilled. And like a lot of the time, I know some people who would drink nearly every night at uni, whether they were going out or not. But we weren't. We kind of picked one day. And as well, it even came down to like, for a lot of the things you had to like get tickets for it, and so we would just agree like, okay, we're gonna go to Sam this week, so like get a ticket. Yeah, I will say for uni, like, or for cheerleading, sorry, I did a cheerleading society and we had socials, so there was like I feel like maybe no one would like force you to drink again, but you went out that bit more. So it would be easy to just like, a lot of the time we went on a Tuesday, so we'd go on like a Tuesday, and then we'd have like, we as a flat would go to Sam on a Thursday. But again, I would only really drink at one of them. I would just pick one. Like I'm trying to think. For cheer, at least when we were out, we would have like vodka, like get like it would like come as part of like whatever package we had. So they'd like be giving vodka cokes to everyone, but I would just like I'd probably pick it, like I'd get it, be like, do I want it? If I didn't, I'd just give it to someone else. So yeah, there's no pressure.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I guess that's only our experience and it could be different.
Yeah.
And we had people in our flat who didn't drink at all and there was never any pressure for them. The only thing is, like, we'd sometimes be like, I'll just come and sit with us.
Yeah. I would say even if other people are drinking and you don't, or you like don't want to that night, you can still go sit with them. Like it's sometimes nice.
And I was just really tired or I just wasn't in the mood to go out, but I would just sit with you guys if you were going out, because then you still get to like join in even if you're not drinking going out.
Yeah, during half the time towards the end we wouldn't even go like out, we would just like sit in the kitchen and stuff, and then it's easier if you want to drink you can drink, if you don't want to.
I kind of enjoyed that more. Like I did like going out, but I liked it because you could go to bed when you wanted, and also you could just wear your pajamas if you wanted to.
Literally.
Oh gosh, is Freshers' flu real? How bad is it? Dreadful.
Horrendous. It's so
I'm genuinely like
I think I had like 4 different Freshers' flus. Like I didn't know there were that, like you can get multiple, like
maybe
I think
got ill, but us too.
What did we do wrong? Like honestly, I was eating really healthy.
I know, I was trying to be as careful as I could, but
I straight up had it till Christmas. I probably still have it now.
My mum literally said the other day that she doesn't think I was fully better until I came home for lockdown.
No, honestly, I was still like, I don't know if I've just got a really bad immune system or what, but like
I used to get ill before uni, so I don't know what
it was just that time. Sorry, we're going so off track, but it was just that time we were sat in the kitchen, both in our dressing gowns.
Oh my god.
Literally just look at each other like, are we dying? Like, are we gonna die? What's the situation?
Like on my first day when I had it, and like some people had it and they weren't, like they still got on with their
for some people it sort of just depends on your body, I guess. For some people it's like a really small flu. Some people don't get it at all. Other people, like I know someone, I was like saying about it to my the people I used to work with, and they were like, oh yeah, I know someone that got like hospitalized. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I feel like that could have been me if I'd been ill.
Literally.
On the first day when I had it, I literally could not get out of bed. Like I was fine the night before, and then I woke up in the morning and I had like the worst headache I've ever had. And I was like, well, I need to go and get breakfast. No one's going to bring me breakfast because
God, you should have messaged me. I would have bought you breakfast.
Because it's Freshers, you don't know people.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You have the person who you would like message and be like, a drink or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just remember like stumbling into the kitchen and there were people in there and I was like, oh my god, I'm so ill. And then we were like, no one had a thermometer or anything.
No.
Didn't know if I had a temperature. And then LJ had to go and, well, she didn't have to, but she offered to go and like buy a thermometer. And also thermometers are very expensive, so buy a thermometer before you go to uni. It was like 20 quid.
Yeah, I would say so, buy like painkillers and stuff. But yeah, I sort of had the same experience. A lot of the reasons I missed lectures, or to be honest, the only reasons I missed lectures, is because of was normally towards like the first few months, because honestly mine lasted a few months. And I would literally wake up and feel like I was gonna like be sick, and it literally felt like there was like rocks the whole way down my body, like I couldn't lift myself up.
It was so bad.
Literally, I remember literally sitting in my room, like I could have a lecture at like 2:30 and I would literally wake up really early. I'd wake up at like 8 and I could not move. I'd just sit in my bed with my curtains shut, like none of the lights on, all day. So it's definitely a thing. Don't feel like bad if you get to uni and you get really, really sick. It's a thing.
Also, I was ill when I went to uni, so
yeah, it sounds like I get ill from stress.
Yeah,
I stress myself out to the point I get like physically ill. So yeah, I think that definitely has something to do with it as well, because I was like, obviously it's fresher, so you're worried about like not fitting in, or like what if I don't like my course, what if I don't make friends? And I think that probably had some kind of effect as well.
Yeah, I think the only thing you can kind of do is try and be as healthy as possible. Know when you need to sleep. Don't force yourself to get up early if you do, but also don't sit in bed all day if you're feeling fine.
Yeah, I would say as well, for me, I think with like eating healthy, this sounds really crazy, but I sometimes like just forget to like make a meal. And so I'll be sat and I'll be like, oh, why am I feeling hungry? I'll be like, oh wait, I haven't eaten since breakfast. It's now like 4:30. So have like snack. I would say as well, have snacks in your room.
Yeah, I had that. I had like
because
a box of
and
biscuits.
like yeah, I would say have like I had a snack drawer, I'm not gonna lie, but I wish I'd put a combination of like unhealthy things and healthy things, because like with freshest food there's sometimes either you're too ill to like literally make it, like for me I was up on like the second floor, so I was literally too ill to make it down to the kitchen, or I was like too embarrassed because I was really ill.
Also, I didn't go into the kitchen and spread my germs.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, freshest food is a thing. It's very much a thing.
Like 3 days of being completely so ill I couldn't get out of bed.
Yeah.
And then on the Friday I was like, well, I'm gonna have to try and go to my lecture. Like I can't miss anymore. So
I'd say as well with like lectures, if you have to miss lectures, your lecturers understand. They've dealt with freshers flu every single year. And like even my lecturers, when my first like lecture with Rebecca, my media comms teacher, she was like, honestly guys, a freshers flu is genuine. She's like, I've watched students, like I've seen students walking around and they look like zombies because they're that sick, and they're coming in and they're so ill and they can't even concentrate. So she was like, take a day off, like get like healthy food, get soup and stuff. One thing actually I lived on was you can get pots of soup. I got it at Lidl, you can get it at like Tesco and Sainsbury's too. And it's like in a plastic tub, and then you just like heat it up, but then you can reuse the tub afterwards. So I would definitely recommend.
Do you gain lots of weight at uni? I don't think so. I mean, I guess you could. It depends what you're doing.
Yeah, it depends on your diet, really.
Yeah, like I made sure I ate balanced, healthy meals, and like the only thing I didn't do was exercise enough.
Yeah,
even
no,
if or walk or whatever. But like,
yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, I think I can see how you could, like, if you lived a student life, like if you lived on a student diet. But I was very, because I cooked so much at home before, like I would always cook, like if I was making like lunch or something, I'd normally make a meal sort of thing and cook some for me, some for my like parents or something. Or like dinners, I was very used to cooking myself. So I was able to cook a lot, and I would make sure I use like proper ingredients. Whereas like, I mean, at the start of the year, I made the curries a lot, but then it sort of got to the point with the jarred sauces. I was like, okay, this is really bad for me. Like I need to stop. Yeah, I feel like alcohol as well, people forget how much sugar and calories are in alcohol. So I would say that's one thing I definitely was conscious of if I was to go out more than one in a week.
Yeah. You just have to try and have like live and have fun, but in a healthy, as healthy as that can be.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you just, I think something I should have done is, even if like we were so lucky our campus there was like a lake, I should have just gone for a walk around that every day, and it would have.
To be fair, I kept saying that, but then it would always get like shut off.
Yeah, that's true.
Anytime it was like windy or anything.
Always windy.
I know, literally. I think it was shut off the whole. I think it was open the first week, and then it was like
around it like 3 times.
But yeah, I think it's, you can go either way. Some people will do it a lot. I think it's to know your personality of, you know, that you can have a pack of biscuits and you can eat 2, or if you know you're gonna literally eat loads and loads and loads, and it's just sort of like knowing yourself. And also cook foods that you like, and put more time into your food, because that's what makes a big difference between like what we were saying earlier with like honestly half the time I wouldn't order takeaways because I would want my food. So like I got a lot of they're like seasoning packets for like certain meals, and so I would put them in and they would make such a difference. It just like make it go from like a really bland meal to like it tasted like your parents cooking sort of thing. Yeah, it's just sort of, I feel like that for me. Exercise, I was awful at exercising, but again at uni you walk a lot because you need to, you're walking almost like 15 minutes to a lecture there and back. You're walking, like if you get the like the bus and stuff, or if you go into town for whatever reason, you're walking pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
And there was a gym as well at the SU. I didn't go to it. I don't really do the gym, but
yeah, there are options, and I think because it was at the SU, it's probably cheaper than a.
Yeah, definitely. I think there were a lot of like student rates and student rates and stuff.
Also, another thing that is not exactly related, but it's to do with cooking. It can be annoying to have to make a meal every day, especially if you're like feeling a bit tired or ill. So I was looking into healthy-ish ready meals. So it was a bit more expensive, but it was like really nice and filling. It's this like person called Deliciously Ella, and she does like healthy ready meals that just have like like the ingredients in it that you would put in it if you were making it yourself. So yeah, think about that. Like if you're getting ready meals because you don't want to cook, or you're like you just want some, think about getting healthy ones rather than.
Yeah. I was gonna say as well, the soups that I used to get, what I was saying about a second ago, I'd get like chicken and vegetable soup or whatever, especially if I wasn't feeling well. But literally, you could eat the ingredients list. It comes down to like I could literally pronounce every word in the ingredients list. And they were like £1.50 or something from Sainsbury's. You could get them at Lidl as well. Yeah, I think it's just like being more conscious with your food shop, and like I suppose it's budget as well. Like I would much rather spend a cup like 50p a pound more on something that's healthier.
Yeah.
Because that honestly makes a big difference in you getting ill and not the weeks.
This might sound a bit stupid, but like I would always have a vegetable pizza instead of just a margarita, because then you're getting vegetables in.
Yeah, honestly, it like you said, it kind of sounds like so simple, but like honestly, I would forget to eat veg for like or like I just wouldn't find a meal to like put it into or something, or it would just take so much longer to cook and so many extra pans or something. Frozen peppers as well are really, really good. You can just like add them into anything. Also batch cooking. I feel like
kind of fridge space sometimes.
Yeah, I would say batch cooking, but probably only do like 2 meals out of it's like do one for after you finish cooking, then put one away for like the next day.
Yeah, that's what I would always make noodles, and instead of just cooking one thing of noodles, I would cook 2.
Yeah.
And then for lunch or dinner the next day.
Definitely. I did shepherd's pie a lot. And even down to like instead of getting just like mash, I would get like sweet potato mash, or like I used to just get the ones you put in the microwave, so it probably wasn't like the best, but it's better than like ordering a Domino's or something.
So the last question is, how do student loans work, and does it cover rent? So you have to like apply for your student loan and put in how much your parents earn, and like if you have any money sort of thing, and then they like calculate it and tell you how much you're going to get, and it depends like on how much you get as to whether it will cover your rent and also what accommodation you're in. So mine just about covered it, but it's not going to this year, partially because the rents I think the student loan's gone down, it's not, the rent's more expensive, but anyway. So yeah, it depends, but it like also they give it to you in, you can choose, but I got mine in 3 sections, which lined up.
So I'm the same. Mine, like I did the same, you put it all in, you get how much you want. You get how much you're like they'll loan you. I got the minimum, so it covered less than half the rent. So I think my parents, thankfully, I'm so thankful for this, my parents topped up the other, like I think it was like 60% of the rent. And then obviously because of that it didn't cover like food or anything. So my parents would give me sort of like a budget, so I think I had £50 a month for food. And then I would top up any extra.
So I think my mum found this out when she was applying for it, but basically your parents, like the idea of the student loan is that your parents top it up, which obviously isn't really for most people. My parents luckily did do it, but if they hadn't, I would have just had to have got a job earlier. And then also my grandparents were really kind and gave me like a monthly allowance as well. But obviously that's like a very individual situation. But I would say like whatever amount you get, it's helpful.
And you think so, like for us, obviously you're gonna have to pay it back eventually, but it really makes such a difference in the short term that's like £1,000 you don't have to think. So I think I got 4,000 for the year. Yeah, and rent was sort of 2,000, I think, or like 1,800, something like that. Just under 2,000 basically each term. But yeah, the only thing I would say for second year, one thing I think is really good for first year, but for second year, you obviously pay your rent monthly because we're private. Whereas your loan comes in every term sort of thing. So I think for the first month or two, even though we paid the first month at the start, like when we put the deposit down, yeah, it sort of doesn't align for second year. But also first year, it's your rent is including bills, whereas second year and generally it isn't, and you have to find all the best deals and stuff yourselves.
Yeah, we did ours for a special, like the estate agents told us about it. So it's through like a special thing that like does it all in one go. You do have to pay it separately from your other rent. So
yeah,
in a way it's kind of good, I guess, because you can think more about budgeting, whereas you didn't have to as much because you just got it, like it was just like it came into your account and then it went.
Yeah, it definitely just came in and out.
So yeah, and then also with the does everyone get the money for tuition given to them?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and that you don't even see. So a lot of people
straight to your uni.
Yeah, I remember a lot of people like asking me or like seeing it on like Facebook and stuff a lot. It's like, oh, what if I get the 9,000 and I spend it without spend something without realizing? You don't even see that. It literally goes straight from student finance to the university. So the only thing you see is your maintenance loan. And then that's kind of up to you. If you go and spend it, you have to replace it before your next rent's due, although there's generally little time between the two. So like it normally came in one day, went out the next. Yeah, I think
second year, I think I didn't really think about this until we came home for lockdown because we were lucky and didn't have to pay our rent for like while we were in lockdown. Start saving some money for next year because like my student loan has changed and you have to have money accessible every month rather than just whenever the rent was for last year. So try and save even if it's just like for the first month or whatever.
Yeah, and second year houses, the rent starts in August generally. Even I know some people had it in like June, July, they got their houses. So you're literally paying from 1 July until the next July, but then your student loan doesn't happen until like late September. So yeah, be prepared for that.
So that's all of the questions that we're going to talk about today. I really enjoyed filming this.
I know, I literally, it's the thing is, it's the sort of thing I'm like, oh my god, what if it like goes wrong and stuff, but it's so nice to have someone else on the video and you're not just like talking to yourself.
Yeah, like if I was doing this by myself I would just go off on a tangent.
Literally.